Hey guys, I can't believe it, but this is the last video of 2022. It has flown by. It's been a fun time. And so what we went ahead and did, we put together a compilation video of all the Q&A sessions of the 6 MLB players we've had on stream this year. Hope you guys enjoy, and I want to wish everyone happy holidays and a new year. Let's go ahead and start off with Super Pats 54 and Yankees fan DZ asked the same question. And it was question from Mike Trout. Who is the toughest pitcher you have faced in your career so far?
Toughest pitcher, I'd have to go Max Scherzer. It's always a battle with him. I was happy when he went to the National League, and when we faced him in Detroit, man, he was tough to hit.
Now, does DeGrom make a case for that at all with how he's been throwing the past few seasons?
Oh yeah, for sure. But I haven't really faced him that much. Faced him in the All-Star game. But, he's definitely up there. If I faced him every day, he'd probably be up there for sure.
Alrighty, so let's see another question. What was your reaction when you heard Albert Pujols got traded to the Angels way back when?
It was something. Growing up as a kid, watching ESPN, you always saw Albert Pujols on the screen, and to be able to put on the same uniform as Albert and be able to pick his brain, I learned so much from Albert. When his time was here, and just everything he does for the game of baseball, and just being able to, like I said, pick his brain and talk to him about all the experiences and the stuff that he's went through and what he knows about the game. I've learned a lot from him.
Alrighty, and so let's see. And that was St. Louis David 50, by the way, guys. I apologize, I didn't say his name. Let's see.
St. Louis Cardinals, great fans. Great fans.
St. Draven, I believe is how you pronounce it. What pitcher from before your time would you have loved to hit a home run off of?
Before my time. So, I talked to a lot of coaches. When I asked them who was their toughest pitcher, you got Randy Johnson, you got Roger Clemens. I think, Pedro Martinez. I think, it would have been a tough battle, but, I'm always up for the challenge. They got unbelievable stuff, and I think, facing them, just seeing what they got, because, they were the best in the game, and you always want to go up against the best.
And so, since we're on the historical players kind of thing, we have historical legends coming to the game really soon in MLB Innings 22. Off the top of your head, what's a historical player you would love to see in the game? And if it's already in the game, that's okay.
I get compared to Mickey Mantle a lot, so I think that was, that'd be something cool to see. Babe Ruth. You see stuff what Shohei Ohtani's doing right now. It's pitching and hitting. I think that's it's like bringing back Little League back to the majors. So probably them two.
All right, and then let's see. One more question we have time for, and then we'll go ahead and have to end this. Let's see. All right, Gideon McHugh asks, Mike Trout, what was your first ever playoff game like? How did it feel?
Yeah, first ever playoff game. It was it kind of felt like my debut. Very adrenaline rush, sold out crowd, very special moment. I think of it now. That feeling, you want to get back to the playoffs, and I think that's the one thing that's been on my mind, and for the Angels, get back to the playoffs. And I think the team that we got this year, we got a great chance, and we're looking forward to it.
Yep, that's what I was going to ask you too. I was going to say, do you feel like this season could be a season where you guys get back?
For sure. Like I said, just staying healthy, that with that lineup and the rotation and that bullpen, I think we big things are ahead.
All right, the first one is from Noah, and it asks, Nick, will you hit a home run for me?
I will try, Noah.
All right, and so The next one is Aaron K277, and it says, oh, no, I'm not reading that one. That's about the in-game stuff. Actually, Nick, you know what? Nick did just start playing MLB 9 Innings. He said, "Can you go to the Reds in free agency?" And they need your help. And there's a free agency in the game, but no, I don't want you to go to the Reds just because I don't want them to ruin your career. They've struggled a little bit with some guys, so I'd stay far away from them, even though I'm a Reds fan. Let's see, Broken Play. Now this is a legit question. What has been your favorite baseball experience?
Ooh, that's a good question, and probably too hard to limit just to one. I'd say, so I'll go three. My top three. I'm really going top threes here. First one would be playing in the College World Series in Omaha, my freshman year at Louisville. That was an incredible experience. We lost the first two games and were eliminated, but it was still like so cool. And that was, I played for three really good teams while I was at Louisville, but we only made it to Omaha once. So that's a great memory. The second one would be getting drafted in 2016 by the Yankees. That was a really cool experience, really memorable, and big realization of my dreams to continue from college to pro ball. And then the third one would be my major league debut in 2019. The ultimate dream come true to get to play in the big leagues and to get my first hit, and have my family all there and everybody watching and cheering on, and those are three of my favorite baseball memories, and those are all really special to me.
I've always wanted to go to the College World Series. When you played, I think they had a new stadium. Did you play at the older stadium or was it at the newer one? I don't remember what year that they changed.
I played at the new one. I played at the new one.
Okay, I got
you.
Really nice. I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, I wish I think my dad and brother got to go to the old one. They haven't been to the new one, but I figured that the new one's really, really nice. It looks really cool on TV.
Yeah.
Let's see. David asks, what is the Rangers clubhouse vibe? If you can, I guess, explain that.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I'm trying to, how do you explain a clubhouse vibe? I mean, it's a group of guys that, goes to work every day trying to win, and guys that want to win. I think, when, it's kind of how, the clubhouse is when I'm in the big leagues. And then even when, I'm in AAA and Round Rock, it's just, a group of guys that want to go out there and win every day. And, they're going to help each other and try and get the best out of each other.
Jorge Perez asks, who do you think is going to win the World Series?
I don't know. I don't have a prediction, but we'll see.
Okay. I figured you might not have any idea on that one. Michael asks, who is your favorite MLB player of all time? So you listed some of them. Are you able to narrow it down to one?
So some of those guys. So those are my favorite White Sox guys that I listed earlier. Some of my favorite. Yeah, probably my favorite player of all time is Derek Jeter. And if I had to narrow it down to one player of all time, I'd go Derek Jeter.
Ben R asks, what kind of car do you drive?
SUV, a Lexus SUV.
Okay. Billy Ball Time said, who's the toughest pitcher you've ever faced?
There's a lot of good arms. I don't usually like to answer this question either. I mean, I'm not answered that one, but there's a lot of really good arms that it's always good competition, tough at bats. But I don't have an answer to that one right now.
Well, I'm just gonna say this: have you faced DeGrom before?
No, I haven't.
Okay. I didn't know if you had or not. So okay. First pick. I don't know. Did you give the first pick? I know you said you picked fifth. Was that the fifth? That was the fifth pick of the first round, right? So you did give that first pick.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
That was Derrick Henry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mitchell asked, "What football team did you grow up cheering for?"
Being from Chicago, I'm a Bears fan. It's okay.
Well, I mean, you guys got Justin Fields, and that's pretty much about all I can think of. That's great over there right now.
I know. Hopefully this year he, I'm looking forward to watching how he plays this year. And new coach, new GM, and they made a lot of changes. So we'll see how they do.
I'm a big Justin Fields fan. I'm a Ohio State guy living in Cincinnati, so I want to see him do well. So I'll cheer for the Bears as well with you. Desert Crew says, "Hey, just got here. I was wondering what Nick's favorite stadium to play at is."
I'd say my favorite place to go play has been Baltimore against the Orioles. I didn't play there this year I know they put up like a new wall in left field, but in the past I really like going there. It's kind of got a good mixture of kind of like some updates with keeping some of like the classic baseball vibes, and I like the area that the park is in, and that's usually one of my favorite trips every year.
And so, going to your home stadium, you're at Globe Life Field now. You got to play. Did you ever get to play in the old Ranger Stadium though?
Yeah, that's where I debuted. Was in the old park.
Which stadium do you like more?
They're too hard to compare. They're different. There was a lot of history at the old park. But not. The new park is state of the art. It's got a roof for those hot, summer days. But hard to compare. They're both. They're both great parks.
The first question we got is from 36 into 6, and they are asking, "What is your pregame meal?"
Ooh, pregame meal.
Or go-to,
a lot of
I
the
guess.
times it was it's like a smooth. It's just like a smoothie. It's just like a big smoothie. Some of the times it's like I was doing 2 hamburgers with no patties, so I was just doing like just. I'm kind of a weird eater. I like getting like these like really strict health kicks. So like I like be like super strict healthy, and But I think I've gone in phases this year. Like early on in the year, I would eat a lot before the game, and like towards the end of the year, I haven't been eating really much before the game at all. But I would say smoothie.
So what do you put in that smoothie? Is it like is it a protein smoothie, or is it just a bunch of fruit?
It's like
milk?
a bunch of fruit. It's got some protein in it. So I would say like a protein fruit smoothie.
And then is there a certain flavor you like in terms of the type of fruits you put in there, or is it just
honestly honestly our dietitian makes it so whatever is in that. We've worked together since the minor leagues. We've been together since the minor leagues, and she's the head dietitian for the Reds and the Bengals. So whatever she makes, I drink it.
I got you. All right. So next question is from Chowder, and they're asking, "What is your favorite opposing team's stadium?"
Ooh, favorite opposing team stadium. I really love playing in Boston. I love Milwaukee, the Brewers Stadium.
You got that.
Honestly, every stadium in our division you can't really go wrong with. Chicago's awesome. Pittsburgh is a beautiful place to play. St. Louis, unbelievable atmosphere. I love playing in Anaheim Stadium, 2019 when we played there. I love playing in Atlanta. They're all so nice. They're all so nice.
And Goat Gaming asks, how did you get into baseball? You kind of already talked about this, so I mean, if you had anything else.
How did I get into it? I was just, I was young, and I just remember, my dad putting a bat in my hands when I was real young, and that's just a sport like I just loved playing. He always tossed. I remember when we did live in California, like right after we moved from Atlanta, we moved to California for a year. My sister was born there. I remember my dad, we lived on a golf course, and he would take me down after the day was done, take me down to the golf course and throw me the wiffle balls. And I had that big bat with the big barrel.
Mm-hmm.
And I was hitting, he would throw to me, and I was hitting when I was like literally like 4 years, like 2, 3, 4 years old. And ever since that moment, I remember I loved it.
And just to go back, I think you said you would be a pro golfer if you weren't doing baseball or in the military. Do you golf a lot, or is it just more of a?
It's something I picked up. I think it's something I picked up last off season with my father-in-law. He golfs. He golfs quite a bit, and he got me into it, and I freaking love it. I freaking love it now. So like any chance I get to play, I try to play.
Does it affect your swing at all? Because I wasn't allowed to play golf growing up because of baseball, but then once I stopped playing baseball, I love golf.
Yeah, no, I don't think it does. No, I don't think it does at all.
Aderico Agoni, I don't know how to pronounce that last name, asked, what is it like playing for Cincinnati Reds?
It's the only team I know. I mean, I got drafted by Cincinnati in 2016 and made my debut in 19, and this year's 2022. Next year will be my 5th year, and I love being here, and the relationships I've made, and the teammates, the friendships I've made, and I love the fan base. I love the city. Me and my family love it here, and next year we're going to be a lot better than people think, and I'm excited to. I'm excited to bring back some winning times here. So I mean, I love it here.
You mentioned enjoying being in Cincinnati. Is there anything you guys have found you like to do in the city or anything like that?
Yeah, we're big foodies, so we love going to eat. Precinct. You go to some really good restaurants downtown. We love going to Alt Park. Kings Island's close. We love the kind of community we're in. Hyde Park, we love that community, and and then just going to the ball field every day. We love doing that. We love the city.
It's nice having a guy that plays baseball in the city that I'm from. So everything you talk about, I know that's kind of cool. Have you been? Have you been to Carlo and Johnny?
No, I haven't.
Sure, that's
where's
only
that
a few hours. It's somewhere. It's a little bit north of Cincinnati. I don't know the exact place. I think it's near Kenwood in that area. But it's a pretty nice place. They have a I think they have like a burro, burro plate or something like burro steak or something like that. They have Anthony Munoz. They have a Chris Collinsworth stuff. All like Cincinnati guys.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
They have some
that's
plates.
pretty cool.
It's a very nice place.
We gotta check it out. Yeah, we will check it out.
Josias asks, who do you think is going to win the MVP in the AL and NL leagues?
AL, I think Judge will win it. I think, and the NL, I think Goldschmidt will win it.
And so I know some people like to say Ohtani, and I'm with you on the whole Judge thing. I get it. You talked about how he could win it pretty much every year. I mean,
yeah, he can. He's just that talented. It's just like he's just so good. Like, he'll win it next year probably.
I would say, and like I said, he's comparison kind of to like LeBron James. LeBron could win it every year, but
exactly.
2018 Fireballs asked, what do you believe is the one key component in a team that wins the World Series?
Key component would be pitching. I think pitching. I think There's a lot, honestly. You have to play good. You have to have a really good defensive team to win the World Series, to be a World Series champion. You have to have a lot of pitching depth, and you have to have a good defense.
I 100% agree with that as well. Cody asked, you've been able to play along with one of the best players of our time, Joey Votto. What's been the best piece of advice he's given you?
You know, Joey's a good friend of mine. I mean, he's given me a lot of, great pieces of advice. I mean, it's just the day-to-day, just being around him every day, just seeing the work ethic, his routine, the way he goes about his business. I mean, you don't even have to say anything. You just have to watch, and you just learn by watching. He's incredible, been incredible player literally for the last 10 years. So had an unbelievable career. We get him for one more year, and who knows, maybe beyond, but at least we get him for one more. And it's just it brings that quiet leadership to our club, and it's just been so good for so long.
I mean, he seems like a great guy too, especially in his interviews. He seems funny and stuff like that.
Yeah. And in this year, he's starting to open up a little bit more. He started to open up a little bit more, and interact with the fans and say, all that stuff. So it kind of he kind of gets to see his personality a little bit more.
I'm at QB Reboot asked, what sushi do you like? So I'm guessing they're asking what's your favorite type of sushi.
I love me and my wife, we love this place called E&O here. They have this roll called Dragon's Breath. It's an unbelievable roll, but I'm pretty simple. I like a California roll, but I do like going like some crunchiness to the sushi roll. I like some crunchiness, so I need like shrimp tempura or something like that on a roll.
Yeah, California is my favorite. Do you dip in anything, or do you just eat it?
Oh yeah, spicy mayo, eel sauce, boom.
Sounds so good.
2018
Fireballs asked, who was your favorite baseball player growing up?
Favorite baseball player growing up, Ichiro Suzuki, and that's because I played for the Seattle Mariners. That was my first baseball team I really remember. That was good. Well, my first team was the Chicago Cubs, then it was the Mariners, I think. And I don't know, I loved how Ichiro hit. Like, he was so fast and he ran out of the box while he hit, and I love that.
Let's say not a big power guy, but his average.
Not a big power guy, but I heard that when he tried to hit home runs in BP, that he would launch him.
I believe it.
No, he was another guy that was incredible. One of the better hitters of our generation as well.
I think my by far favorite player of all time has to be Ken Griffey Jr. He was obviously special. I'm gonna say his prime was in the 90s, and so do you have any favorite players from the 90s generation at all? Because Ichiro, I guess, was obviously.
I mean, any of the great, anyone of the great eight, anyone in the Reds. I mean, geez. I mean, so many. Barry, you got Barry Larkin, Eric Davis. You got all those guys. You got Pete Rose. Unbelievable. Tony Gwynn. I like the pastime. I love the pastime. I think
Was there any pitchers or anything?
So many talented players. I mean, Nolan Ryan, Tom Seaver. I mean, you got so many great arms. Who am I thinking of? I'm drawing a blank. Not Darryl Strawberry, but the pitcher too, Doc Gooden. I mean, it's just there's a ton.
Let's see. Dark Wolf asks, what was the toughest starting pitcher you have faced in the MLB? And past guys haven't really answered this question, so if you don't answer it, it's totally fine. I get it.
Past guys haven't?
They said, I guess they don't want to give away their secrets or something like that. I don't know, but yeah. We had Nick Solak. I'll give from the ring.
Well, I'll give.
And he said he didn't want to give that away.
I'll give you mine because he's almost done anyways. Is Justin Verlander. I'd say Verlander. I faced him at 19. It's just special.
I hate playing against him in the show, so I guess.
Yeah, I know, dude.
For me,
I know. Look what he's doing this year.
I know, just dominant. He's just timeless at this point. Let's see. AK's Gaming asks, which city has the best food?
New York. No doubt about it. Yeah, Yankee Stadium. Yankee Stadium has best food. New York has unreal food.
Is it the pizza? I'm guessing the New York City.
Everything. I think it's everything. Unreal.
All right, and this will be the last one today. Kate Moo asks, what was your experience at the Field of Dreams game?
You know what? I wish it was better, but I loved it. But we were literally it was our last game of a 10-day road trip. So we were on the road for 10 games, and it was I was exhausted. I wish I was not with all the travel, but I mean, just what they did though, I think the history behind it with the movie and just like how they put it together and the event, the atmosphere, it was incredible. It was incredible, and I was just so happy to be a part of something like that, because that's history right there. That's a a game that I can tell my son about, show him pictures, and just that's something special, for me and my family, and just to be a part of that, and it was amazing.
In that first ever game last year between the Yankees and White Sox, that's hard to top.
Yeah, it was incredible.
I mean,
I know. I know. Like, how are you going to top that? I know. How are you going to top that? That's the thing. How are you going to top that?
What we'll do, first question, we'll start with Max Langer. As arguably one of the best catchers in baseball, how do you always manage to control the pitching staff, the defense, and hit in one singular game? I guess manage all of that stuff in a game.
Yeah, it's a lot for sure. For me, it's coming up with a good routine before the game. It's putting in my scouting of their hitters, and also, how we're going to attack that night with our pitchers and how they're going to go about it. Being really prepared that way, and then also the other side where I'm scouting their pitchers and coming up with a game plan there. And then we always have pitcher-catcher meetings with the starter. We have hitter meetings with all of our hitters, the coaches. So, you always feel prepared before the game. You have a lot of information thrown at you. But for me, it's just kind of being able to simplify it, make decisions based off of, the information, off the feel, off of, what the pitcher can do that night, what I can do that night in the plate, where's my swing. So yeah, it's just it's balancing the two. If you're 0 for 4, I still feel like I can help our team win by, calling a great game, blocking the ball, throwing a runner out. And the same, I can have 4 hits and drive in runs. But my main job is to drive those pitchers and also to drive in runs. So it's just not getting too high, not getting too low, and yeah, just doing the best job I can do.
Nolan Bushman, what is it like playing for the Dodgers as their catcher?
It's awesome. We have the best pitching staff, best coaches, the best lineup. And yeah, it's, to be right in the middle of the lineup between such great hitters, special, and it's, really cool to be a part of. So yeah, I feel, very fortunate to be with an organization that wins a lot of games, that's committed to winning, and, we got a real shot at winning a World Series year in and year out.
And so I kind of already asked you about this question in terms of the MLB stadiums, but I guess it's more specific. 36 into 6 says, what MLB stadium do you like hitting in the most?
Probably Colorado. Just because the ball flies a little better there, goes a little farther, but also, the fences are farther back, so the outfield's huge. So it just feels like there's a few more hits there than the other stadiums. There's a little more grass for the ball to find.
Yeah, that was the stadium I had in mind. I like playing there on MLB The Show as well. Royals fan 7707 says, what is life like as an MLB player? Also, what do you do in your free time? We've kind of already hit on this, but
yeah, I mean, being a major league player is a dream, truly. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of, sacrifice, especially for, like my family. It's 162 games in 180 days, and spring training and playoffs, and it's a lot of hours. But it's you don't feel like it's a job. It's you're playing a kid's game. It's fun. And when it comes down to it, you're just playing baseball and you're having a good time, and it's a great job, job, I guess, as you want to say it, but it really doesn't feel like one.
So Ben asked this, and you probably won't answer it, but who is your your favorite teammate?
Favorite teammate? I love all of my teammates.
As I would say, that's what I was expecting to hear, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. It really is. We have a really good clubhouse, a lot of great dudes, and a lot of good teammates.
And Billy asked, what was your favorite home run that you had from the 2022 season?
2022 season? Oh man, I don't even know. I didn't have any walk-offs or anything like that. I don't know what my favorite was. Probably, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know which one specifically, honestly.
Yeah, I figured that one would be a tough one. No, I figured that'd be a tough one, but I wanted to at least ask it for him. Justin Jefferson fan and Mahomes fan asks, Will Smith, this is Justin, I'm a Dodger fan. How do you feel about Tyler Anderson going to the Angels?
I'm happy for him because he deserves. He came to us on a 1-year deal, looking to have a great year and earn himself a multi-year deal, which he did. I would have loved to see him back as a Dodger. We got along great. I really enjoyed catching him and just kind of watching him work. He just was a competitor, kind of made stuff happen, in his favor and our favor, and just good dude, good teammate. Really good pitcher, but so yeah, I'm sad to see him go, but I'm happy for him too.
I'm with you on that. Thomas Matava says, Will, if you could start at another position on the diamond, where would you want to play?
I don't know. I get to DH a few games every year. I always like that. It's kind of a mental break. You're still involved in the game. But I don't know. I like being involved a lot more than DH is. But also the infield, growing up, I played a lot of infield, pitched and all that. And then in the minors, played some infield as well. I don't know. It's kind of stressful out there because you're used to, every pitch being thrown at you and you're catching it, or, you're just locked in, where the infield, you might not catch a ball for 6 innings and you're just, I don't know. For me, it's a totally different mindset and different feel. And I don't know, I would get anxiety out there, oh, when's the ball coming? No, when's the ball coming? No, not this time. When's it coming? So, I don't know. I like catching.
AK's Gaming asks, hey, Will, who is the funniest player in the clubhouse?
Funniest player? Probably Edwin Rios. The guy's he's something. He's special. It's Eddie.
Roots Ruler says, hey, Will, my kid is 9 years old and he's a catcher for Little League. Any advice?
9 years old? I mean, at this point, just have fun. I look back at my Little League days, with some friends. It was, a lot of fun. Obviously you want to, become a better baseball player. You want to play the game the right way, learn the right stuff. Really create good fundamentals when you're a kid. But yeah, just keep at it, whether it's baseball or golf or anything in life, just, I don't know, my best bet is just keep working. Best advice, just keep working and, just trust in yourself and, be confident and just go for, whatever you want to do.
Now, I'm not sure if you already answered this question or not. We did talk about it a little bit. Darren Fisher asks, who is your favorite pitcher to catch and why?
Favorite pitcher to catch and why? It's probably Bueller, Walker. He grew up in Kentucky as well, so we kind of have that connection, knowing each other and playing against each other a couple times when you're, in high school and all that. But he's a really good pitcher, got really good stuff, competitor. He can do a lot of different things, which makes it fun to call a game because you can attack hitters in different ways and really keep them on their toes. That's what makes him so good and so dominant. But yeah, he's probably one of my favorite. Obviously, love catching Julio, catching Kirsch, catching TA was awesome this year. Tyler Anderson. Fortunately, we got a really good staff and a lot of good pitchers that I get to catch, and they're really fun to catch.
Rayo asks, are you watching the World Cup? And I think it started actually yesterday or today. So
no, I'm not. I'll tune in on like Sports Center, and maybe when the U.S. team plays, I might tune in and watch it. But I don't know. I've never been a huge soccer fan.
Yeah, me neither. I know. I think the U.S. played Wales today, but I've never really been into soccer either. I think they tied. I don't think they've won. Really? I think I saw a stat that they haven't won a World Cup game since 2014. Because I think they got eliminated in the first round in 18. So I don't know if that's all true though. So that's just going off of what I've seen. Let's see. Next up, Troy, and I'm not sure I'll say the last name, but it says, hi, Will, what advice would you give to high school players wanting to get to the next level? I know you kind of already talked about this with the catcher, the 9-year-old.
Yeah, so, for high school, I mean, just, kind of go about it the right way. Work at being a good teammate, work at getting to be a better baseball player, developing your swing, developing your fundamentals, really, really grind in the cage, find your swing, find what works for you, try different stuff, just learning from your coaches, honestly. That's one of the first things that the college coaches ask about players. They ask coaches, how is he as a teammate? How is he, is he coachable? And I think, it's all the little stuff. Obviously they're going to look at all the talent you have, how hard you can throw, how far you can hit baseball and all that, and your hit tools and all that. But college coaches want players they can trust and they can rely on, and, that aren't going to mess up, off the field or anything like that. So yeah, my best advice is just be a good teammate, work at it as hard as you can, and whenever that opportunity comes to get a college offer or just an opportunity really to play in college, jump at it and go all in. And that's kind of what I did. So yeah.
So 36 into 6 also asks, who would you love to play with that's not a Dodger?
Who would I want to play with that's not a Dodger? I don't know. I mean, big free agents right now are like Judge or DeGrom or Trey Turner that would come back. I don't know. Bring all three of those back, that'd be awesome. Or one or two of them, or whatever. So I'm going to say those guys now, just being hopeful.
And you mentioned Judge real quick. What are your thoughts on the season he had and recently getting announced as the AL MVP?
Yeah, I mean, he was, I definitely think he should have won the MVP. There's definitely the debate with Ohtani being the two-way guy, but, he hit 62 home runs, set the AL record in homers this year. It was just, every day it seemed like you turn on the TV in the clubhouse and he hit another homer or 2 homers. It was crazy. So yeah, I mean, that was cool to watch. Fortunately we'd have to play him in all this years, so none of them came against us. But yeah, I mean, that was a special year, and he did it at the right time too. He's going to have a lot of money coming his way too.
Yeah, I mean, with Otani too, he's in a league of his own, I feel like, in terms of that. So I feel like that's a guy, he's kind of like LeBron James. I mean, that's a guy, honestly, he could win the MVP every year. I mean, there's just no one like him. So Tony asks, have you ever caught a knuckleball pitcher? And if so, how hard is it?
Yeah, we had, in the minor leagues, we had 2 of them, kind of, double AAA. I don't know. It was kind of weird. Some of them are just not good, and then all of a sudden they'll clip one right, and you have no idea where it's going. I don't remember me missing any balls or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, like if I had to catch, Tim Wakefield or something, that would have been probably a whole different story. That'd have been cool. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Chloroxo asks, Will Smith, do you like collecting baseball cards?
So as a kid, I did. I remember getting packs and for birthday or Christmas or whatever, or going to the store. I had a couple binders full of cards. Probably still have them somewhere or in my parents' house. I don't know. But yeah, not anymore. I probably grew out of that when I was like 9 or 10 and really just wanted to, play baseball.
Ray Red asks, how's it being a new dad, and do you still do all the cooking at home?
Yeah, definitely do all the cooking at home, pretty much. But yeah, no, being a new dad it's awesome. It's special. It's crazy. You're holding your daughter, and it's kind of surreal at times still, but yeah, I wouldn't change any of it. It's still very fortunate and special, and she is perfect.
And then Larry Justice asks, who do you think Dansby Swanson will follow? Or no, Will, do you think Dansby Swanson will follow in Freddie Freeman's footsteps and become a Dodger next year?
I have no idea. There's a few really good shortstops on the market right now. I'm sure we're going after at least 1 or 2 of them, trying to get one of them. But yeah, I don't know. He's a really good player though.
I think this might be one of the last ones we have time for. Kim asks, which one do you prefer, Silver Slugger or Gold Glove? And I'm sure awards are not your main thing to worry about, but
yeah, I truly don't care about the awards or anything like that. To me, those don't really mean. They mean something, but to me, they don't really mean anything. I would rather just win a World Series or win a game that day or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. They're both, like the two awards, and hopefully I win. I don't know. I would love to win 1 over 2 of them, but truly don't really care if I do or not.
I guess a better question to go off of that is, do you, as a catcher, do you feel defense is more important or offense in terms of hitting? I guess that's a better one, not including the awards.
Yeah, I think defense is more important for a catcher, and the ability to call a game, to have the pitchers trust you, and that relationship is probably the most important thing on the baseball field. So yeah, that relationship takes priority over what you do at the plate, for sure, by far. But I also don't think that means you don't have to produce as a catcher. I think that's a responsibility, and I think for me, I'm right in the middle of the lineup, so I'm trying to put together good at bats each and every time and drive guys in.
Josh Goldman asks, what was your best childhood holiday gift? I guess since we're in the holiday season.
We had like a 2-person, like those indoor like basketball game net things that are probably like 6 foot tall, and you have the like 2 goals that you can play against like your family members against. And we played that for countless hours in the house. and I got really good at it, and I enjoyed winning. So we played that a lot. That was probably my favorite gift.
All right, next up, Isaac Hobday asks, how long have you played baseball, and what is your favorite sports games that you play? And you don't do video games, so I'm assuming your favorite sport would be baseball.
Yeah, favorite sports, yeah, definitely baseball. Yeah, I don't really play video games very much, but I started playing baseball when I was like 3 or 4 years old. I don't really remember it. I'd have to ask my dad or something. But yeah, I was between like 3 or 4, and then I've played ever since.
The next one, I didn't get to this question, but I'm glad someone asked. Justin and Ash asks, how do you feel about Trey Turner going to the Phillies?
Well, I mean, I just found out about it a couple hours ago. I didn't have any other information on it, but I mean, sad to see him go. He's a really good player, but I'm glad that he, like I said earlier, I'm glad he went out and got his bread, and he's going to be able to have fun there because he's an East Coast kid. So he's going to enjoy it out there, I believe.
Let's say him and Bryce Harper, former, NL champs. So I wish him the best of luck. I hate seeing him go. But next question is Connor S. Do you remember how hard you threw as a freshman?
As a freshman, I mean, I'm a late bloomer, so I was probably throwing like 70 or something as a freshman. I mean, I didn't hit 80 on the gun until probably like really early junior year, and then it just kind of really started shooting up. But yeah, I would probably say in the 70s-ish area. I don't know exactly.
Next one, Larry Justice asks, which position is the hardest, starting pitching or relief pitching?
Depends on your mentality. I'm a very routine-oriented person, so I enjoy starting more so and fine being out of the pen. I'm not a huge fan of the bouncing back and forth, but if I was told that I could be in the pen for a while or starting for a while, I would be able to change my mindset and like mentally prepare for that. So it really just depends on the person. A lot of guys like going out and blowing it out for one inning compared to where I like going out every 5 days and throwing hopefully 5, 6, potentially 7 innings or however many long they let you go. But like I said, it's really just based on the person's mentality and what they think that they can execute the best.
Yeah, when I pitched in high school, I liked starting more just because I felt like I got more in a groove as I went. I feel like I started to pitch better each inning. I got consecutively better instead of coming out and throwing that one inning like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So Dodging the Feds asks, Dustin, what is your favorite hobby? And I'm assuming outside of baseball.
Outside of baseball, favorite hobby is probably hunting. And outside of that, sports-wise, it'd probably be golf. Those are pretty much the only 2 things outside of baseball. I enjoy weightlifting too, but I mean, I would consider that part of like my job to stay in shape. So other hobbies outside of baseball would probably be hunting and golf.
Next one, not Kevin Kiermaier's burner account asks, what pitcher has taught you the most or has been a mentor to you the most?
I mean, currently in the big leagues, I mean, I guess Charlie Morton probably has the closest like repertoire to me. So like, I guess if I was going to watch a pitcher to figure out how he navigates stuff, it would probably be him.
Next one, let's see. I don't know if you can really ask this question. I think the name is Raphael. Hey Dustin, which pitcher do you think is better between Kershaw and Urias? I don't really know if you want to answer that, but that's just next one I saw on the list.
I mean, they're both phenomenal pitchers. I mean, I'm super glad they're both on the team because they can go out and win 20 games every year. I mean, they're both Cy Young caliber throwers every year. So yeah, I mean, they're both great.
And Kershaw just got signed to another 1-year deal with the Dodgers. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I'm glad to have him back.
AK's Gaming asks, hey, can you explain that famous strikeout versus Machado, I believe is a 2-seam?
Yeah, it was a 2-seam, and I was kind of going on the inner half of the plate, and it just kind of kept going. It started probably on the black and just kept going, and he swung at it, and ended up doing the same thing a week later when we played him again. Yeah, so I mean, it's a cool clip, but he's also clipped me on a couple homers. So I would say we've both got each other pretty well. So I'm looking forward to the future against him.
Next question is Alex. He asked, working on anything special this offseason?
Just trying to stay healthy. Nothing super specific outside of that. I'm just trying to get my body, like I said, into the best shape I can going into the season next year, because I despise being on the IL after being on it for so long. So I'm going to look forward to hopefully having a fully healthy year next year.
Next one, Joshua F. asked, were you nervous for your first MLB start? And I'm assuming I already know the answer to this question, but...
No, I wouldn't really say nervous. I was more so like excited just for the moment that it was my debut. I'm not really a nervous or like anxious type person, so I was just super excited that I was getting to be in that moment, and all my family and friends were there, so it was a very fun moment for me. And I was, like I said, I wasn't nervous or anxious. I was just excited about the moment.
Renee asks, who is your favorite teammate? And that's probably a tough one to answer. So if you can't answer that, I guess who is the funniest teammate?
Well, I mean, I came up through the minor leagues with Tony Gonsolin, so we got really close. So I mean, he's probably my like best friend out of the group, and I mean, we talk a lot outside of baseball, and we keep up with each other in the off season. So he's probably like one of my closest friends in the baseball world. And then funniest teammate would be not teammate anymore, but Edwin Rios. Sad to see him go too, but yeah, he's probably the funniest guy.
Let's see. Aderico asked, you kind of already answered this question as well, but they ask, how are you preparing for the 2023 season?
Just trying to keep my body in the best shape. Yeah, I really don't want to be hurt again. So just trying to stay off the IL. That's just putting my body in a good position.
Another question from Dodging the Feds. They ask, how do you feel about the San Francisco Giants rivalry, which you guys have had some interesting matchups in the past few years. So
yeah, I mean, I missed a lot of it during 2021, or actually I didn't get to be a part of any of it because that was when they were really good, and I was hurt for 80% of the year, so I didn't get to be a part of that huge rivalry. But I mean, yeah, it's always fun going to San Fran. They have a beautiful stadium, and it's always good weather, so it's always fun to play against them.
Next question is by 069. I don't know if you collect baseball cards, but they said, what is the most expensive baseball card you have if you do?
I don't collect baseball cards, so I guess one of mine, because that's the only person's baseball card that I have.
Another question from Alex as well. Outside of baseball, what was your favorite sport?
I guess now it would be golf. Growing up, it was probably basketball, but I don't want to get on a basketball court anymore because I don't want to get hurt doing something like that. So yeah, golf would probably be my favorite other sport.
And then I did mention Clayton Kershaw again, but Justin Ash also asked, how do you feel about Clayton Kershaw returning? You kind of already touched on this, but...
No, I'm excited to have him back. I mean, just him being in the locker room is a good sight for guys because of his stature and his name in the game. So yeah, just having him back is cool to be around him, and if something comes up, he's always a person you can ask because he's been in the game for so long. So if you ever have a question or anything, he's a good guy to ask about it.
I did get a question here, and they said, I'm guessing they're a Giants fan, but they said, speaking of San Fran's beautiful stadium, why is Chavez Ravine so terrible? Which stadium do you like more? Do you like the Dodgers Stadium, or do you like the Giants Stadium, or what is your favorite stadium?
Definitely going to go with the Dodger Stadium over Giants because it's home stadium. The weather's good in San Francisco, but it is a little chilly. So the weather is always sunny and blue skies in LA, so you can't complain about that. But favorite stadium that I played in is the Ranger Stadium. It's brand new. It's in a dome. I like domes. That's kind of my favorite type of stadium is the ones that have the roof on top. It's very pretty. It's new. It's got all the new technology and everything. So Ranger Stadium is my favorite total, but out of Giants and LA, it's definitely LA.
Now, I can't remember. I know that stadium is new for the Rangers. Did you ever get to play at Globe Life? I can't remember when their last year was with that stadium.
No, 2019 was their last year. I didn't get to play in the old Globe Life Stadium. I really would have liked to, but because that was a stadium I went to growing up when we did go to games. So that would have been super cool. But being able to pitch in pretty much the parking lot of where it is, so that was neat too.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite stadiums growing up. Mitchell asked, I guess since you're not in LA right now, do you miss LA, or what is it like living in LA compared to Texas?
No, I like my time in Texas. I'm definitely a Texas kid. LA is a completely different vibe and big than my current home. I live out in the country. I don't have neighbors 2 feet apart from me, so it's a little different. And I definitely enjoy my off time in Texas, but I mean, LA is great for baseball, and I enjoy the baseball town, so it's fun to be there too.
And this is probably the last Q&A question we have time for. Aiden Murphy asks, what is your favorite memory?
Like baseball memory?
I'm assuming so. They didn't specify, but I'll go baseball.
Yeah. Okay, so definitely winning the World Series. That's definitely takes the cake for best baseball memory. Especially being able to do it in my hometown. That was very, very special and near and dear to my heart because, like I said, my family was here and able to come to all the games. So that was super fun and cool. So that was probably my best baseball memory.
I figured that would be your favorite one. That would be mine as well if I had that type of career. So that's pretty much all we have time for today, Dustin. We really appreciate you coming on. So we'll start with Josh Goldman. Asks, who was your favorite teammate back when you played for the Cardinals?
Ooh, I'm gonna have to say my boy Shelby Miller. He was my ride or die guy throughout the minor leagues. We made it all the way at every level together and played in the big leagues together. But my favorite teammate besides him, I could say all my young guys who we came up with, but I'm gonna have to say we didn't hang out a bunch, but Rafael Fakal. And the reason why is there was one game me and Jeff Samardzija got in a beanball war. Samardzija pegged me a couple starts before, and so I took offense to that. It was an accident. And I came up the next game. We started against each other, and I whacked a double off of him. I almost thought I was hitting Oppo Taco, and I pimped the hell out of it. And Samardzija ends up drilling me next at bat, and so I'm still in the game. I drill him. Both sides are worn, and it wasn't one of the first times that we were throwing at each other. So Mike and the skipper at the time over there at the Cubs, we got on a phone call and said, hey, Kelly and Samardzija, knock it off. So we knocked it off. And so I think the next, 2 weeks after that, we played against the Dodgers. And Fakal was an old Dodger legend. And I came up and I clipped one and put it in a Big Mac land around the foul pole. Umpire says, home run. I'm rounding first, dapping up my first base coach. Let's go, first career homer. This is the first year replay was out. So timeout. We now got replay. And it was one camera angle. One. And so they replay it and they say foul ball. And I was like, no way, that's fair. It's one angle. So I come back to the box. I have 2 strikes on me. Chad Billingsley was a pitcher. And I forget who was catching at the time. But anyways, he was yelling at me the whole time. Don't you ever pimp a homer off a veteran. You're a freaking rookie. Don't ever. And Fakal's on deck because he's batting leadoff. And he sees what's going on. And I step out of the box and Fakal's screaming at him. Hey, shut the F up. You don't talk to him like that. Go ahead. Tell Billingsley to hit him. Tell him, this guy throws 100 and he'll kill you. He'll throw it at your face. And I'm still in the box just listening like, oh my God, what's going on? And so I step back in the box. I'm like, all right, he's gonna throw it at me. So I'm swinging. Ended up throwing one like in. So I just chop it, run to first, get out of there. And Furcall's still arguing with him. I dare you. He's coming up next inning. He's gonna kill you. I'm telling him to put it in your face. And so from there on, Furcall became one of my favorite teammates.
All right. So Justin and Ash asks, "Hey Joe, this is Justin. I'm a Dodgers fan. I have a question. Are you a gamer?" You kind of already answered this. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is there any other games that you missed out that you like that you played? I guess I just wanted to get that one in there.
Any other games? So I traveled with a sick monitor, a Pelican case, and my Xbox on the road. I made a little custom case, so I traveled with it throughout the year. The other games I dabbled into was I liked Sea of Thieves. I liked obviously the Call of Duties, Warzone, Fortnite. You know, pretty much any game that's hot and trending, I'll dabble into.
Let's see. Next one. AK's Gaming asks, "Hey Joe, huge fan by the way. True or false question? Huge controversy with the video of practicing changeup and broken window. Was that a stunt to hit the Astros players due to command issues?" Quotation marks.
That would have been a genius IQ play, but no, definitely not a stunt. It was my pitching coach was asking for videos of how my changeup was going, so I put my phone on a tripod at the time to film during COVID. And number two, it wasn't a real baseball, which a lot of people don't know. It was a baseball training device called a clean fuego, which is kind of like a hockey puck. So if you throw a changeup and throw it right, it's like a frisbee ultimately. So then it will rotate, sideways. And so I threw a good changeup, but I forget that it's a frisbee, so it caught a little bit of the air and then kind of faded. So essentially, it's a hockey puck. It looks like a half of a baseball. You throw it and you try to get it to rotate straight. So at the time, I was filming on a tripod because he was the number one guy. Him and his brother invented that company. So he's like, "Hey, how's it going with my my device?" I was like, "Oh, I'll show you." And so I filmed myself during COVID working on my changeup. And I just happened to catch it on camera at that time. So no, definitely not a stunt. The window cost a lot of money, and the wife wasn't too happy.
Let's see. Next one. Sox Nation 04 asked, "What's your favorite city that you've been to?"
Favorite city. Favorite field is believe it or not, one of my favorite is Pittsburgh. I think the skyline's gorgeous. Favorite city, it's probably gonna be Boston. Not gonna lie, I love that city. It's small, it's clean, it's very family oriented, and I played there for 5 years. Great food.
Fast Mommy 13 asked, "Recall a funny / memorable fan interaction or signature moment."
A funny one. Like I said, I played a lot of video games. There was a time where I did a signing, and a fan who waited all night until the release of a specific Call of Duty came out before they had digital copies. Said I waited at night for like 8 hours to get this specific game because he knew I was a fan of it. He ended up buying 2 because you were allowed to. And the other one he opened up, and I ended up signing the actual disc. So I think that was not funny, but it was definitely one of the coolest things that I've signed. Number 1, it was Call of Duty. Number 2, he waited outside all night just to get me a copy. And so it was definitely one of my favorite interactions.
Next one, I figured we would get some of these questions in the chat, but H-Town asks, "What was going through your mind in the infamous brawl between you and the Astros in 2020?
I knew that there was a strict COVID rules in place, and it was one of those things where obviously the whole me and Correa thing became viral and famous, but it was one of those things that the way it was intended to be wasn't what happened, and everyone's heard the story a million times, but walking off, it wasn't one of those things where I wasn't afraid to fight. Obviously 2 years before I got in the biggest brawl in Red Sox Yankee history, but I knew going into the game the rules of COVID, and I thought if you do something crazy, I was already getting fined a ton of money that year for not wearing my mask right. I knew that I would be fined a ton. So people always say I was walking away from a fight. It is kind of makes me chuckle most of the time. But I was following the rules of not trying to instigate anything. It was just more of a little banter back and forth. So that was honestly one of the only things that was going through my mind, is don't lose more money just because I was getting an outrageous number of fines throughout that whole entire season. Because I was one of the guys who was not following COVID protocol, so to speak, as well as I should have been.
And one question to go off of that, you, I'm pretty sure, got 8 games suspension for that, and we've seen some lighter suspensions for things that probably don't seem as bad as that. Like, do you think COVID had anything to do with that in terms of like how long the suspension was, and just because of everything going on that season with you, or what is your thoughts on that?
That was their number one thing they fought for when I battled against the lawyers and took our lawyer from MLB. That's pretty much what they said. They pretty much told me that because I made a pouty face at a player, I pretty much put everyone's life in danger, is what they told me, because the pandemic was so scary at that time. And they said I get 8 games. And I said, I was one who was following the rules, going back to my dugout, and I get 8 games. And you were saying that I was the one who pretty much put everyone in danger, when it was the other team who ended up coming at us. And I tried to make the argument that they put our lives in danger. What if they had COVID? They could have killed us, is what I said. But it didn't work out that way, and they gave me 8.
So we're about at an hour right here. We have some more questions. I don't know if you have any more time. If you do, we can get to a few more.
I got about a couple minutes. Me and the family are going
to do
to
a
see
few
some
more,
lights.
or do we have to get out?
Yeah, 2 more.
Okay, let's see. Let's look at these. Which one will be the best 2 that we can go with then? I guess this is a good one. Baconator asked, what was your favorite MLB player growing up?
Ken Griffey Jr. No questions asked. Yeah.
That's my number one too. It's not even a question.
When we won the World Series with the Dodgers, he made a cool tribute video. Everyone got their favorite players to make him a video, and he made one for me. Something I'll never forget. Thanks again, Ken.
Alrighty, and then let's see. Last question we'll have time for. We'll end on this one. This is a good one. Rayo asked, do you still have the mariachi coat you wore to the White House?
100% hanging up in my closet. I'm saving it for hopefully when we win the World Series, I'm part of it and be able to wear it again to the White House. If not, I have one daughter, and I told my wife, if we don't win the World Series, the only other time I'll wear it is for the father-daughter dance at her wedding. And she told me, F off, that would be too embarrassing. And I said, nope, that's it. If I don't win another World Series, it's only going to be worn twice in my life. One to the White House, one for my daughter's wedding.
I figured you would hold that for special occasions only.
Yes, sir.